Welcome to another episode of Untitled with Andy and Jeremiah. All right, that was good. We'll see y'all later. Say something.
Okay, I've been sick for the past week, and I haven't given my voice a chance to rest, and so of course this guy wants to shoot a video despite that.
So, in honor of Jeremiah's disgusting sickness, we decided we're going to talk about some of our favorite epidemics in movies. Before we go into that, let's do some news. Let's do some news. Venom is projected to make a lot of money.
Cool.
Actually, man, Sony's been all over the place with Venom. They did some the trailer had some really cheesy and corny lines. Some people liked it, some people hated it.
I don't like the corny lines. I like the design of Venom, and that's about it.
I'm on the fence. I like the design of Venom. I really liked his design in some of the promo leaked photos, stuff like that. But getting the full shot of him, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see in the movies. And then I think part of the problem is they didn't use any motion capture. Tom Hardy didn't do any motion capture.
Oh, really?
Really, it's all just Tom Hardy's there, but he's they just superimposed Venom over Tom Hardy.
I don't like that.
I don't think I'm gonna like that either. But also a big update in the Star Wars stuff. Rian Johnson got his trilogy taken away. His trilogy is officially canceled.
Which, if we're taking series away from good directors, then we should also be targeting terrible ones too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I thought you were talking about Rian Johnson for a second. Which he can be a good director. Just don't give him Star Wars. IMO. IMHO. What else? What else is
James Gunn had another talk with Disney about rehiring him potentially. They stuck by their stance. They're not going to do it. And as of today, they've officially told their crew that pre-production has been postponed. You can start finding other work.
Mm-hmm.
And it was supposed to start beginning at either fall of this year or the beginning of next year.
Yeah. Dave Bautista kind of got the ball rolling on that because he was the one that was really being stubborn, saying, you know what, I'm not going to do it.
Which I'm glad that he's sticking by it, because at this, it got to a point where I was thinking, okay, he keeps making a fuss, and if he still does it anyway, I mean, that's just taking a payday. If you're gonna do it, just stop. But if he's following through with it, and if they're actually putting a halt on production, then I don't know, maybe something's going on. There's also speculation that they won't be able to find a director that's willing to take position.
James Gunn's
well, for one, like, out of respect of the director, maybe they don't agree with the whole reason that he got cut. They did ask the director of the first season of Deadpool, I think.
Season?
Yeah, where he was like the executive producer.
Like a cartoon?
No, not Deadpool. I'm sorry, Daredevil. On Marvel, on Netflix.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was the director.
I don't think he's the right choice. I don't think he would have been the right choice.
But somebody on Twitter just asked him, what would you say? And he said that he would respectfully decline.
Yeah. Smart move. That's no director's going to want to take it because they're automatically going to get hated by the cast, the crew, the fans, and that was definitely James Gunn's series. He put a lot of himself into it.
Well, yeah, if you look at Guardians before James Gunn's involvement, it was almost in a completely different entity. He put so much of his personality and quirkiness into the series and redefined it across the board, whether it's the films or the comics or the cartoons or the merchandise. Awesome Mix wasn't a thing before Gunn got involved with Guardians.
Yeah, he made the definitive Guardians type character set, and not a lot of people have done that for Marvel Comics. One other change from the comics from the movies was Agent Coulson.
Right.
He was a fan favorite in the movies, and so Marvel Comics started writing him in.
Did you see what happened to him?
Yeah, he got...
Deadpool murdered him.
He got... Deadpool did? Was it Loki that actually murdered him? But it was Deadpool, and then
Honestly,
they
I don't
brought him back
remember.
to life, and everybody thinks he's dead, but because the Avengers can't find out he's alive because that would make the first Avengers not as impact. I don't know.
I always thought that Phil Coulson's death being the unification.
That was a little
of the
weak.
team. Yeah, that was a little too much. I mean, up until that point, he was just that guy.
what can you
that
expect
kinda
from
popped up
Joss Whedon, though?
occasionally. Yeah,
Really?
I
What
mean,
can
really.
you- that's about what you expect from Joss Whedon.
Get a new hobby, Joss.
Hobby Joss.
Gunn does have a horror movie coming out for Sony in November, though, and it's got Elizabeth Banks attached to it.
What's it called?
They haven't announced it yet. They were going to announce it at Comic-Con, but all that crap blew up right at Comic-Con, so Sony held off. But there's speculation that it's potentially a Bloodborne film.
Bloodborne?
Mhm.
That game?
Yeah,
Based
that
off
one
that
game.
game?
That one game that I didn't get past the entry level.
You can't pause it, right?
Yeah, you can.
That's the game you can't pause.
There are.
And you have that crazy
several
side?
games that you can't pause. But yeah, the side. Kane.
I don't know. It could be good.
Could be good.
Who knows?
So we're supposed to be doing Epidemics.
Epidemics.
Epidemics in film. I'm going to start with a pretty hard hitter right out the gate. I think that 28 Days Later would be a terrible epidemic to live through.
I agree. That's one of my that is my favorite zombie type movie ever because Danny Boyle is just he's such a great director.
Whatever genre he tackles, he knocks it out of the park.
He really does, and I think that's one thing that helps keep his movies fresh. Because I mean, the same guy who did 28 Days Later, his next film, I think it was his next film, would be
Millions was his next
Millions.
film. Yeah,
And then after that, Slumdog Millionaire. Was it? Is that
I think Sunshine was before something like that. Yeah.
Sunshine.
Anyway, he's tackled family-friendly movies. He's gone after horror, science fiction, biographical with 127 Hours.
Oh yeah, he's just been such a really, really great director, no matter what he tackles. And I think one of the reasons that he's a great director is because he goes deep in his movies. He definitely goes deep in his movies. He doesn't just make some two-dimensional film, no matter what he's doing. He actually puts a lot of depth and kind of the same way. I would say not as much as, but in a similar vein of the Coen brothers.
Yeah.
He puts really good depth, stuff that you can sink your teeth into. But that would be a horrible epidemic.
Right. Okay, so first of all, you've got the fact that people actually completely lose their minds. Same zombie rules apply. Your family, your friends, your dog, right? Because it was tested on monkeys to begin with, so we know that it can infect.
But
animals.
they don't. Not same zombie rules because they don't have to bite you. You just have to get blood on you.
Is that how Walking Dead is too? I feel like I've seen that in Walking Dead, but I might be wrong.
Well, in Walking Dead, everyone's infected, no matter what.
That's true. And the moment you die, you come back.
Yeah, you
That's
become
right.
you become
Yeah,
a
yeah.
zombie. Zombie. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to do a spoof of Charlie Bit Me to be Zombie Bit Me.
That would be...
I was zombie.
Why haven't we done that?
I don't know. I thought of it like moments after I first saw that video.
That sounds perfect.
But yeah.
And easy to shoot.
Oh, yeah. But whenever I was going to actually do it, then Chris and Liam Hemsworth came out with their where they play the brothers like 20 years later.
Oh. Like what?
They play... So Chris and Liam Hemsworth...
Oh, play Charlie.
They play Charlie and that other kid like 20 years later. And apparently they have not gotten along since that moment.
I wonder how that kid is. I mean,
Charlie?
the one that actually does the work in that video.
Oh, yeah.
Of talking and actually his cuteness is what made it so viral. But nobody knows who his name is.
Yeah. He's just the Charlie Bit Me kid.
Yeah. We got Charlie and the guy who Charlie bit.
Yeah.
It's a sad
I've
legacy.
thought about that too, actually.
I haven't. This is the first moment
I thought
I'm
about that
actually
before.
thinking about it.
So, you don't have to get bit. You just have to get blood, like in your eyes or in your mouth or in a cut, in a wound, something like that.
There was that one scene where somebody vomits blood onto somebody's face, right?
Oh yeah, the soldier. And it only takes like, it's similar to World War Z. It only takes like 10 seconds or 30 seconds for the change to take place.
But I know I was watching a different kind of movie when what's her name? is her name Naomi Harris? The actress?
Yeah, Naomi Harris.
The moment that she kills her friend that she's with in the house, like right away as soon as he gets infected, I'm like, holy crap.
That part blew my mind. I was like, man, another reason Danny Boyle's a great director is because he knows when to remove a character, because I don't see, his name was Mark, I don't see Mark fitting in with the rest of the narrative. But it was just a really great story. Great story writing. Next on the list, we have
Last Man on Earth. Looks like it would suck. The Epidemic there.
That would... I loved that. I haven't finished it yet, but the last season started getting a little but up until that point, it's really good.
I think that it's a lot bleaker. Because if we're pretending that we're in this scenario, I feel like we're like in that scenario's world as well. Mm-hmm. So Last Man on Earth has a very lonely, very kind of pathetic vibe to it.
Yeah.
And I just imagine that not only would you be dying in pain, you'd probably be just like flat out miserable about everything else too.
Well, right. Like in other epidemic movies, there's something to fight against. There's something to unite people to fight against. And one reason why I like The Last Man on Earth is that there is nothing to fight against. It's people just trying to find some kind of normalcy, without having an actual enemy. Typically, there are some antagonists in the show eventually, but it's not going. Even the virus, you get sick and die. So it's not going out with a bang or a last stand. It's just kind of like just fading away. Or at least, the concept of humanity just fading away, which is really one of the reasons why I really liked it, and the way that they tackled it with such humor, I think really made the show just kind of stand out. Whenever I saw the promos for it, I thought it looked really dumb and just very watch it once, throw it away, but it was actually really funny.
Yeah, I enjoyed the first couple seasons.
Yeah,
there were 3, right?
I think there's 3 total. I think. Well, it got canceled. Really, there's only so much you can do with that show. With that show in particular.
I mean, they had already broken their concept, their title, like within the second episode.
Right. Did you see Jack Black's cameo?
I don't think so. Wait, maybe. It sounds kind of familiar.
There's something I want to say about the show, but it's really spoilery.
Go ahead.
Okay, so one of the things that the show does, especially if there's a famous actor, you know that they're going to get killed off because the famous actor is not going to stay on that show for very long because it's a relatively low budget show. And so, but you don't necessarily realize this early on. You figure, oh, okay, I wonder what's going to happen with this character. But the more the show goes on, the more we go through these guest appearances, I came to a point with Jack Black's appearance. Like the moment he walks on camera, I'm like, I wonder how he's going to die. And that very second, he died. I won't say how, but it was so hilarious.
I gotta check it out now.
It was so hilarious. I was like, oh, yeah, I wonder how he's going to die, because obviously that's going to happen. He's Jack Black. He's not going to stay on the show.
His cameo is like less than 5 seconds? Or
his cameo is about 5 seconds long.
Okay.
And it's the funniest cameo. I forgot who, someone on a beach has a heart attack, and that was a cameo, and it's so funny.
That one I remember, but I don't know who it was.
I don't remember the actor either. That was a really good, I think it was like Martin Short. I think it was Martin Short.
I think you're right.
So funny. But that would be a terrible epidemic to have to go through just because of the sheer loneliness. And it hits on the loneliness aspect pretty hard. Outbreak. What was it? That little monkey? What was the virus called?
Yeah, the monkey.
So the Motaba virus. That would be a horrible virus.
I've never seen Outbreak.
Really?
Yeah.
It was I haven't seen it in years. I saw it whenever I was like 12, I think. Around that time, and I enjoyed the movie a lot. I thought it was really good. One of the first movies I actually saw Dustin Hoffman in.
Rain Man was one of my first.
Really?
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I saw it. I've seen it. It was a good movie.
Wreck. You gotta give me Wreck. Because Wreck is a virus.
Wreck would be terrifying.
And we're talking about Wreck. We're not talking about quarantine. All right.
Either or for me. I haven't seen Wreck. I'll acknowledge that it's a better movie.
So
but
the difference between Wreck and Quarantine is that yes, you have this virus, but in Wreck they explore this whole scenario where the virus is actually demonic in nature.
Oh, okay.
And
okay.
it adds an extra level of freakiness to it for sure.
Yeah, I bet. Like whenever I really started to like, I like Quarantine. I know there's a lot of hate on it, but I think that's just because Wreck exists.
Yeah, it's just the comparison between the two.
Which there are elements of Quarantine that are better than Wreck. For instance, the opening scene in Quarantine, the build up scene is better in Quarantine than it is in Wreck. The build up scene, but that's about it. But whenever I really liked Quarantine is whenever the camera guy, whenever the camera guy kills this zombie thing with the camera, you get the POV slamming into this zombie's face, and I freaking loved it. I've never seen that done before, and it was fantastic. I love that part. I need to watch Wreck, though. I've been meaning to watch it.
We're a very bloody bunch here.
Well, when we're talking about Epidemics.
Sure.
What's another virus?
Planet of the Apes, the remake series.
The simian flu.
Yes,
the simian flu. Would it be the worst though?
I don't think it would be the worst because you can see even in the last movie, they've got.
There's people still alive.
Yeah, there's still quite a few people.
Culture.
They haven't lost everything completely about them. They're in a war with the apes still.
You saw the third one?
Yeah.
I haven't seen
It's
the
pretty
third
good.
one first.
I really enjoy the. You haven't seen the first?
I haven't seen the third one yet.
Oh, okay.
I think I watched like 20 minutes of it, and then I had to do something else. I haven't picked it back up. So far, though, my favorite one is the second one.
The second one's really good.
I love that, and someone I talked to said they didn't like it, and they gave me a few reasons why they didn't like it. I was like, those reasons don't sound good, but.
I really enjoy the second one. I like the rivalry between Caesar and Koba.
I liked what I really liked in the movie is how both sides were trying to do their best and it just wouldn't work.
Right.
I really like that about the movie. About both sides trying to do the best with each other and for their own people, and just despite their best efforts.
Right. And the apes weren't like actively trying to attack the humans. So the simian flu, while deadly, there's still semblance of life. There's still them holding on, and even after the apes inherit the planet, the humans are still around, you know, because there's human slaves. I think you should watch the third one because I would rate the third one my favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
I like Woody Harrelson.
But it's spoiler. It's not both sides trying to get along because at this point,
I figured that would be
Shen, you know.
I figured, and I would kind of be disappointed. I think the second movie hit it so perfectly that it showed that it just wasn't going to happen.
It's a good progression for the story,
which I really like. That's how a trilogy should be. Not this. I just got to make the second movie and muscle through it so I can get to the third one, the story that I actually want to tell.
This Apes reboot trilogy has been great.
It really has, and as far as I can tell, each movie is quite different. Like the second movie is a very different movie from the first movie, and I like that it changes casts.
I agree.
I like that. I like that Caesar is the main character of the story. Even though like a photo of James Franco comes back in the second movie, and so his character is still acknowledged in the second movie. I liked that a lot, and I really liked that each movie tells its own story while also being part of a bigger story. They did. I don't know how they did it, but they nailed it perfectly with that trilogy. I was really surprised at how well they were able to do that. Mind you, I've only seen 20 minutes of the third movie, but
you'll like it.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's good. It's good.
Everything that he's saying is still applicable even after he would watch the third movie.
Boom.
So there.
Boom.
Naysayers.
Mic drop. So that was our episode of Untitled.
It's a little mismatched, but blame Jeremy.
Absolutely, blame Jeremy. Blame Jeremy. Jeremy, Shane. No. What can we?
Ellen.
Jeremy, Ellen, what's his last name?
Miller.
Jeremy, Ellen Miller. blame him. He's the reason why this was a discombobulated episode.
We'll put his phone number and his Facebook and the
links to Jeremy's IM in the description. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and subscribe to our Patreon, where we only do it $30 a month, and you basically get this episode 10 minutes earlier.
Seems fair.
It's a very fair price, so don't forget to subscribe to our Patreon.
Think about it like this. Those extra 10 minutes that you get over everybody else is worth like $1 million.
It really is. So you're getting a fantastic deal. Our merch is on our store as well. We have Untitled t-shirts.
They don't have anything on them.
Right. And you can go, they're white, plain white. You can go get them at Target. Anyways.
Do we do that on the exit?
We don't do that on the exit.
Now we do.
Now we do for this episode only. That's why.
New branding coming soon for the Untitled group.
Au revoir, Shoshana.
The new branding is going to be quotation marks around the word Untitled.
Untitled. Where's the remote?